Hello, my name is Dave McKinnon, and to start my video documentary, I decided to bring you to the heart of ancient Tianjin, Gulou. In English, it means drum tower. The reason I brought you to Tianjin, China, is because I'm going to be discussing the development of typewriter keyboards, specifically in China and Korea. The Chinese characters are referred to as Hanzi, and the Korean alphabet is referred to as Hangul. I will begin by demonstrating the differences between these written languages, and then show you the consequences of these differences as we move to the typewriter. First up is Hangul. Please watch a short introduction to Hangul, followed by a short pronunciation guide for the consonants and vowels.
Can you see a box here? It is divided into 3 sections. When you write Hangul, you can simply put a sound in each box. Each Hangul letter consists of at least one consonant and vowel. B. You may put another consonant in there like this. Big. It always goes from left to right and from top to bottom. So this is how you write Hangul. Piece of cake, right? Hangul has 10 vowels and 14 consonants.
K, K, G, L, T, T, L, D, M, G, P, B, S, J, Q, S, J, H, I, A, Ya, O, Yo, O, Yo, U, U.
The basic units of the Korean alphabet, and the defined structure of how those parts must combine to form a word, make the Korean typewriter a relatively straightforward device to use. Chinese, however, is a completely different story, as you look at the mammoth of a machine here. But we will get back to the typewriter in a minute. First, let's take a look at how Chinese characters are constructed.
横、竖、撇、点、横折、捺、提、横折钩、竖钩、横撇、横钩、竖弯钩、撇折、竖提、竖折、撇点、竖折折钩、斜钩、横撇弯钩、横折提、横折折折、弯钩、横折弯钩、竖弯、横折弯、横折折折钩、横斜钩、横折折撇、竖折撇、竖折折。
Although the names are more complicated than Korean, one might hope the strokes come together just as neatly as Korean, but unfortunately this is not the case. There is no set order to how these strokes must come together, and even if there was, it would be so complicated it would most likely never properly be used to simplify typing a character on the typewriter. Let us look at 2 characters to help us illustrate this point. Tian means day or sky, and it is constructed using 4 strokes. Ying means wind, and it is constructed using a lot more than strokes for Tian. Not only does it use a lot more strokes, you can also find 5 smaller characters within that one character. The outcome of all this is simply a typewriter that must contain all of the Chinese characters individually. There is no simple way to create characters by using their smaller individual parts. In order to prepare a document to be printed, one must first carve out all the appropriate characters and arrange them accordingly. The characters are covered in ink, which will come off on the paper when pressed against it. This method is quite tedious and delicate. Each character needed to be carved out beforehand, and in many cases more than one of the same character needed to be carved out to complete the document. Along came the Chinese typewriter. No longer do words need to be carved out every time, and there's no longer a need to have repeated characters either. From the video, however, you can see that the task of locating the correct characters made this process slow, and led to a new way to look at writing, which still has its influence in modern China. As I discuss the Chinese typewriter, I want to look at the movement from the more traditional use of typewriters to the more modern use. So one of the original methods for separating Chinese characters on the tray beds in a typewriter was based off of the three following characteristics: frequency of use, the radical component, and the stroke count. Each Chinese character has a certain radical component associated with it. For example, the radical shui refers to water, so it's found in words like bing, or ice in English, and he, as in river in English. These arrangements required a great amount of practice and patience. In the early 1900s, typists could only type an average of 20 characters per minute. Around the 1950s, typists then began to experiment with arranging characters with other characters they were often associated with. Typists created clusters of character associations that dramatically improved their typing speeds. So using this new practice, one particular individual was able to type at a speed of almost 80 characters per second. Millennium refers to this new phenomenon as predictive text, an important part of today's cell phone messaging services, and it's still a very important part of Chinese typing efficiency. As you can see in this example, all a person needs to do is type the first letter of the two words, and the predictive text will offer what they think are the best options based off previous popularity of the words. So, what caused the change? Well, Millennium believes that two things might have preempted this change in thinking. The first is that the Communist Party was emphasizing a system more in tune with the common people. The second is that the development of specific political discourse in the Communist Party created new popular words and phrases. So what are the consequences or significance of the exploration or looking at this typewriters? Well, there was a time when many were worried that the character set in Chinese wouldn't survive, partly due to its incompatibility with technology. The advances in typewriter techniques helped distill this threat, and Mullany argues might have actually saved the Chinese language. Thank you for watching.